Hello, friends, and welcome on in. It's a special day here at Clarksville Academy. We're here live with the CA Sports Network celebrating the hiring of Clarksville Academy's new athletics director and head boys basketball coach, Coach Matt Hoppe, kind enough to join us. Coach Hoppe, tell us a little bit about the process. You've got some great experience. We're going to talk a lot about that, but tell us about the interview process. At which points along the way did you feel like you knew Clarksville Academy was the right fit for you?
Well, first of all, I'm just really excited and happy to be here at Clarksville Academy, and just really blessed and excited just to get started and in the role as AD and head basketball coach. I would say the process, I kind of knew early on just from talking with Ms. Highnote just that I knew that Clarksville Academy was a place that I could easily fit in. It's very familiar to me in terms of the size, the mission, the purpose of the school. Having grown up in Brentwood in the Nashville area and attending Brentwood Academy as a student there a long time ago, it's very similar. The size, the community, and so I'm just knew kind of early on, and then from getting into the athletic director interviews, just talking with different administrators, and Ms. Highnote she kept hearing me say, take out the Clarksville Academy stuff, and I just really enjoyed visiting with the people, and just excited about the community, and just it seems like a family atmosphere, and again, I'm just really happy and excited to jump into it all.
Coach, I couldn't agree more. I've said for years, the people are what make Clarksville Academy such a special place, and we're glad that you're part of the family. You mentioned the athletics director position. When you first came here to interview, that wasn't part of the equation. You were here to interview for the boys basketball job. Then we all kind of got a little bit of a surprise. That got thrown into the mix. How did that go? I know you have a little bit of administrative experience. We'll talk about that, but you've never been an athletics director. How do you feel like you'll be able to step into that role, having not served in it specifically, but having dealt with that position a lot as a head coach?
Right. Coach Peterson has done a phenomenal job in leading the athletics program. Prior to now, and it's taken it seems like an awesome spot. Just what he's doing for he and his family, and so I couldn't have stepped into a better athletic director role at such a great place. Just he has left behind a good legacy of strong athletic programs across the board. At a school the size of Clarksville Academy, there's challenges, there's good things, bad things, but all things that, that I really want to jump into. And so for me, just as a head coach, being able to, deal with different aspects of being a head coach with whether it's schedules, parents, players, academics, and then also having coached multiple sports. I just kind of have an idea of the ebb and flow of what seasons look like, of what different things to expect in different parts of the year in terms of the school year also. And so just being in different places in different roles has just helped kind of prepare me for the athletic director spot.
Let's talk about those different places and those different roles. Coach Hoppe, you started an organization across the pond over in London, England, that has become one of the biggest youth sports organizations over in London. Obviously a huge city, a city where basketball is not really, when you got there anyway, wasn't that big of a deal, and you've been able to kind of blow it up there with the London Pulse. And also you helped run Brentwood Academy's Flight Youth Basketball League. You've grown that exponentially. How did those specific roles and experiences you feel like translate well into your new gig here at Clarksville Academy?
Well, like you said, moving to London, I think when we lived there, I think basketball was probably 6th or 7th on the list of most popular sports there. Behind like badminton and behind cricket, and so we had our work cut out for us just to build a program. We started with 6 kids, and those guys over there are still going strong, and they're running multiple teams across multiple age divisions, multiple genders, and so they've done a really good job of kind of taking what we envisioned that it could be, starting it, and have really done a great job of kind of making it into one of the largest sports and most successful sports groups over in that city of almost 10 million people. So just being able to start that and kind of being confronted with some challenges and confronted with things you weren't expecting, and then trying to learn a new culture, trying to learn Basketball England and how they operate and just the ins and outs, and was really able to kind of see basketball and to see administration from kind of a different point of view, just how to deal with just different things that you could probably never imagine you'd have to deal with in basketball in the United States. And so it kind of always kept me on my toes, but I learned a lot just about organization, about communication, things like that. And then, like you said, helping run the Flight League at Brentwood Academy. Again, just dealing with coaches, dealing with parents, players, trying to make their experience the best we can make it to try to help them grow in basketball, and then also just kind of showcase the school some, and also again kind of bring in some outside income for the school also. So I mean, both of those roles just lent itself to being an athletic director. Just all of the organization, all of the communication that goes on between different people and groups of people. And so I think it just really prepared me really well for a job like being the athletic director at Clarksville Academy.
I'm glad you mentioned the student-athlete experience, because that is very important anywhere. It's super important here, and the student-athlete experience here at Clarksville Academy has been great as of late. I'm sure you've done your homework. It's an incredible school year last year for our Clarksville Academy student-athletes. Deep state runs in wrestling, golf, boys basketball, the list goes on and on. I don't want to leave anybody out. Girls tennis as well, and baseball. A phenomenal season last year for all of our sports teams, it seems like, here on campus. Coach, how do you balance putting your stamp on the CA athletics department while also maintaining that momentum?
Right. Well, I mean, like I said, Jake Peterson has left a great legacy of just a strong athletic program, like you said. I mean, multiple sports, multiple successes in the postseason. And so I think for me, coming in with just different experiences that I've had at different places, and just seeing things differently from different teams, parents, schools, and cultures. And so again, just trying to take the things that I know and put them into process and into work where we may think they may be beneficial to the school and to the athletes and the coaches. And so, as an athletic director, I think my biggest role is to be an advocate for the coaches and an advocate for the student athletes, and trying to help them have the best experience they can have at Clarksville Academy, and also trying to partner athletics with kind of the overall education of each child, because that's a big, it's not the end all be all, but it's a big part of Clarksville Academy. And so I want to do what I can, again, to help advocate for coaches and players and administrators and teachers, just to try to bring all that together and listen and kind of offer my experience and my quote-unquote expertise, as you will, to the things that can help kind of take this to even a higher level than it already is.
Coach Hoppe, you talk about advocating for student athletes, and I know that obviously that's something that's important to you. It's something that's been done here at a high level. We had 20% of our graduating class sign on to continue their passion, their athletic passion, at the next level collegiately. How important is that to you? What kind of an indicator is that in your mind on the success of an athletics department, and what do you feel like your role will be in helping kids get to the next level as our new AD?
Right. Well, it's not only an indicator of strong athletics, but it's also an indicator of strong academics. I mean, the college teams, college programs, whatever sport it is, they don't just come after, regular, normal, athletes. They come after kids that are high performers in the classroom as well, and high performers in the community. And so, to be a college athlete takes a lot of work, and it's not for everybody. And so that Clarksville Academy is producing a lot of good high-level college athletes that are successful says a lot about the school itself. And so as an athletic department, again, I think it goes back to advocating and supporting them, trying to help them be more visible, trying to help them understand the process. I think that's one of the biggest things. Trying to help them understand, okay, you have things that have to happen on the court or the field, but you also have to have things that happen in the classroom. You also have to have things that happen at home and in the community. And so, college coaches want well-rounded kids. And so a place like Clarksville Academy produces that. And, my job as athletic director will be, again, to help support that and help just support the coaches and supporting their athletes and getting to the next level, because there are plenty of places that do a good job of it, but Clarksville Academy is one that seems to be one that's ahead of and at one of the upper levels of doing that.
I love your passion for supporting our student athletes and supporting our coaches here on campus. You're also going to be one of our coaches on campus as our new head boys basketball coach. I'll close with a couple of questions on that. You've coached some tremendous student athletes as an assistant and as the head coach at Brentwood Academy. You've had a ton of success, and I'm sure I mentioned the homework about the athletics department. I'm sure you've done a little bit on the basketball program as well. Clarksville Academy boys basketball team went all the way to the state semifinals last year, had a ton of success, won their first district title since their move to Division II. Where do you feel like that team, just in what you've seen so far, has potential to rank amongst all the greats that you've been able to be a part of coaching?
That's a tough question, because I've been a part of some really spectacular teams with some great kids and great athletes and basketball players. But it just from the initial onset, just having a chance to meet the guys a few weeks ago, and just from afar, there's a ton of talent, ton of really good basketball players. I mean, everybody knows Eddie Ricks. Everybody knows just all of the great players that Clarksville Academy currently has. And so, we as the head coach of Berlin Academy, we played Clarksville Academy last year in a summer league game, and I remember sitting on the bench when we were warming up, thinking, well, we might be in trouble. And yeah, it was a fantastic game. A lot of high level college athletes on the floor for both teams, and so it was a lot of fun to sit back and kind of watch. Summertime, I didn't really quote unquote coach a whole lot. I like to watch our guys play just to get a feel for it. And so that's, I think initially what I'll do coming in is trying to get to know our guys, trying to coach them, hold them accountable, love them, encourage them, be the first one to yank them into place when they need to, but also be the first one to hug them and slap them on the rear end and tell them what a great job they're doing. And so, in turn, we'll wait to see where they fall in the list of great teams. At the end of the season, when all of the awards have been given out and all the trophies have been handed out. Hopefully, we'll be one of the ones standing there with the one that matters, the gold ball. And so that's what we're after.
I'll be here to ask that follow-up question, and I look forward to that, Coach Hoppe. We'll end on this, maybe the toughest question on the list. I told you I was going to be throwing softballs at you, but you'll be serving that dual role. Head boys basketball coach, athletics director. How do you fight the inevitable gripe that anybody in that role gets that, it's going to be all about basketball because our basketball coach is our AD? That's going to come up whether you do anything to merit that or not. How do you deal with that? How do you fight that obvious stigma?
Well, I mean, I think about that old quote that says, rising tide, raises all the ships. And so, as an athletic director, that's kind of what you have to have envisioned for the athletic program. Yes, I mean, boys basketball it will be important to me because I'm the head coach, but girls basketball is important. Football, girls soccer, baseball, tennis, cross country, all those sports are important because when all of us has success, it just raises the level of what Clarksville Academy is athletically. And so, I've seen historically the teams and the schools that have multiple good teams are really strong schools, and that's what Clarksville Academy is. Multiple strong teams across multiple sports, and so yeah. Again, while I will be during the wintertime focusing on boys basketball, I'll also be focusing on girls basketball and wrestling, and then in the spring and the fall, I think again just being visible, being present, being there to support. Watching practice, being at games, and just there to support our athletes. I think that's, again, the most important thing that an athletic director can do out in front of everybody. I know there's things that with budgets and admissions and financial aid and coaches and all kinds of things that you have to deal with, but the end all be all is it's about our kids and it's about our student athletes, and so that's what I'm going to advocate for and be there for the most. So.
I was excited about you being here before I met you, before we had this conversation. I'm even more excited now. Congratulations, Matt Hoppe, our new head boys basketball coach and athletics director here at Clarksville Academy.
Thank you. Go Cougars.